Hey folks, y'all see what the title is? Y'all know how I do. As I find it, I put it out because they just try to slide it in right past you. Now, granted, I know the majority of my content isn't for everybody. I know there are people that could give less than a damn. I know people personally. I know some guys that was in the military with me that, I mean, we're in the same unit, sometime on the same team. And they're on this gun thing. Yeah, but it's different with us. But dude, how you figure? But I'm not lying. Two of them are from California. So what? One's from Washington State. But one of the ones from California, he has firearms. I'm like, wait a minute. But y'all state don't, why don't you? Okay, I'm not going to get into it. And this was a guy that's been down range with me twice. So I say that to say this: just because somebody wore camouflage or APU or digital BDUs, OD greens, tiger pattern, jungle fatigues, don't take that as this person is going to be on your side, even though we swore an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Don't risk your life. Don't bet your last nickel on them doing what they swore an oath and of allegiance to updo. You see the background here: divided allegiance. If you understand, some went from the Force to the dark side, from the dark side to the Force, from the Force to the dark side, back to the Force. So don't lose your head behind somebody else doing what they supposed to do. Now let's go ahead and get this going here. This is, it's going to be two pieces here. I'm quite sure if you're in the Great White North, you know who this is. Oh, and this piece here is from, my head is blocking it, Rebel News Canada. They have a YouTube channel that you can go to and watch their content. So let's go ahead and get this puff piece rolling, okay?
And we have a culture where the difference is guns can be used for hunting or for sport shooting in Canada. And there's lots of gun owners, and they're mostly law respecting and law abiding. But you can't use a gun for self-protection in Canada. That's not a right that you have in the Constitution or anywhere else.
You cannot use a gun for self-protection in Canada. You can legally own the firearm, procured it legally through all their bureaucratic red tape and loopholes. And if somebody is kicking in your front door and another one kicking in your back door simultaneously, and they're armed, you legally cannot use your legally acquired firearm to defend yourself. So I guess the only good thing that if you want to call it a good thing, is after they bloodlet you in your own house, they'll probably take your firearm too. You left it there for the taking, and whatever else they came to retrieve out of said domicile. I guess your only saving grace is that the Canadian Mounted Police find the culprit and bring them to justice. How does that benefit you? Newsflash: it doesn't.
try and buy a gun and say it's for self-protection. No, you don't get that. You get it for hunting. You can get it for sport shooting. You can take it to the range, no problem, as long as you go through our rigorous background checks. But there's a difference around the culture. And one of the things that we're seeing with the debate in the States is you get more and more of the American style, right to carry, self-defense arguments filtering up through the the usual more right-wing communication.
Through the usual right-wing, okay. But hey, I can't say nothing because you guys voted for it. Next puff piece here. Okay, and this piece here is from Forbes, yeah. And this is the gentleman you see here, that's Greg Steube. He's a veteran Republican. He's a U.S. representative from the state of Florida. 14th, 17th. I think it's 17th district. I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. Hey, Nick, you wrong. It was the 14th. You had it right the first time. Because I got so much junk in my head. My apologies. So this was on the House floor. This was over dealing with the Liberocrats over the gun bill. Now, take in mind, remember something like I've always said. Make a look, shrink down this border some here. Like I've always said, and there's others too. I've even posted pictures of them. I know what a security detail looks like because I've been on security details. And I'll leave it at that. And so being one of them used to be, it's been a while, I know what a security detail looks like. I know who's the lead, who's the back door, who's the flank, who's the command. I know from the layout. I know, and I'm not going to tell you how, but you would need to see them move. Just a static picture won't tell you anything. You would have to watch them, how they come out of the vehicle or come out of the building, walk down the sideway, walk or whatever, and who goes where, who stays stationary, who does overwatch, who does static, who you would, and I'm not going to explain it for obvious reasons because you never know who's watching you, but I can watch a 10-second video clip and I can tell you who's who on that fire team. Excuse me, on the security detail. I don't know why I said fire team on the security detail. I can tell you who's who because I've been on security details. So anyway, let's go ahead and mute myself and get this one going here. Now it's Forbes, so you better stop it and whatnot. The Canadian one, they don't even bother me so far as copyright and all this other stuff. Forbes, they really don't bother you as long as you just don't play it through. You have to give some commentary. Okay. All right.
Yield to a member on the Democratic side that served in a combat area designated zone and deployment of our country. Anybody in the Democratic side?
Mr. Steube, what's the purpose of the question? My father, no, let me finish. Let me finish.
Because I'm going to make a point and you're taking my time. So I will yield to any member who
because
deployed.
I'm offended at your suggestion that somehow if we've not served in a combat zone that we don't care about protecting the lives of our constituents.
Has nothing
That's
to do
why
about
I'm
how you
responding.
to me.
And for our family members who have lost blood, they should be respected.
Reclaiming my time. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like 40 seconds
I've seen my constituents die in battle.
It's Mr. Steube's.
Now you hear him talking his junk. My father, your father going to combat versus your father being in the military, your father going to combat versus you being in the military and you going to combat is two totally different things. You can always tell when you struck a nerve. Then that dingbat that's running for mayor of freaking Houston, and she'll probably win because Houston is full of fucking morons. And morons will go above and beyond to add someone just as moronic to their shell, so they like to protect them, or because it's somebody that they relate to. And she gonna say, I've seen my constituents die in combat. No, you haven't, because this is the same woman that said, I stand here once as a freed slave. This is what this listen, I mean, Sheila Jackson Lee is a walking soundbite. No one has to edit her musings. And then here, couple of days ago, somebody leaked the audio of her cussing out her detail, her her people that work for her and whatnot, and somebody apparently messed up something on an appointment or a speaking engagement, and she called them, dumb MFers and all this other stuff. But I guess this dumb MFer ought to know what a dumb MFer look and sound like. So there you have it. Because of course, you're not going to put anyone on your detail that you think is smarter than you. So you get what you get. But yeah, I've seen my constituents and my voters. No, you haven't. Because for you to have seen them succumb, you would have had to be there. This is the part, and everybody know me, and my doxers know. That's the only reason why I guess after they doxed me, they didn't say nothing. They like, well, shit, I guess he is who he said he is. I mean, I ain't no bad. Look, I'm just a regular freaking troop. That's it. Nothing special. Nothing. No giant, ceremonies and award. No, just one of the regular shooters. There's thousands of us in the field that I was in. There's thousands. So, I mean, I'm just a regular troop, but I know what I know, and I know who I know, and I know who does what, who's tasked to do what and why. Sometimes when, but that's a whole different story too. And shout out to y'all relatives, to your father, to this one's grandfather. Shout out to them, but don't try to use their service and sacrifice to shield you for political and ideological reasons. That's what I'm saying. Onward.
Gentleman is recognized.
And I will ask for 40 additional seconds that I was taken. Okay, so I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served in the Army, and there's a lot of talk in Washington about weapons of war. And my purpose of yielding to one of my colleagues who may have served was to ask them a specific question of what type of firearm were you issued when you were deployed? And the answer to that question is a true, what would be defined as a weapon actually used in war, has a selector switch on it for fully automatic, 3-round burst, and semi-automatic. So,
which is true. My first rifle that I was issued was a M16A2, and safe, semi-automatic. This is true.
When I deployed in 2006 in Operation Iraqi Freedom, we were issued M4s in the United States Army.
Which is also true. I've transitioned from there, and along the way from there, well, in between, when somebody got bumped up to become a designated marksman, had to carry a M110. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but this is legal. It's legit. It's a copy of an M110. Okay. It's just semi-automatic fire. That's all it is. Matter of fact, this is a toy. This is a toy replica. This is plastic. See, it's plastic. See, it's plastic. Yeah, that's it. It's plastic. It's a replica. That ain't even a real flashlight. Oops. But yeah. But yeah, that's the way that go. Yeah. Then M4, you have safe, semi, and then the 3-round burst, just like the gentleman said.
4s had a selector switch on them. Those selector switch allowed
Was gonna say, I jumped the gun.
you to have fully automatic, 3-round burst, or semi-automatic. Those firearms are not allowed for purchase in the United States today. So these
You cannot buy them. Just like the video, how many videos I got? Well, I'm saying, telling people, look, they tell me, these are weapons of war. No, they're not. You cannot. There's no one walking. You cannot walk into a gun store and buy an M4. They don't sell them. You cannot walk into a gun store and buy an M16 A2. They don't. A1, A2. They don't sell them. They do not. Well, I know a guy that's a historical weapons collector in Butte, Montana, and see, I put those people in the same rank with the ones who are telling me, trying to use their great grandfather's service as a shield for the fuckery that they trying to push on you.
This cascading of weapons of war, what I was issued, and again, I would ask any person that served in a deployed environment, you are issued weapons that allow for fully automatic and 3-round burst. That is not available for purchase in the United States, and that is not what the Democrats are attempting to ban today, because that's already banned.
Correct.
What we're talking about is a semi-automatic rifle that only is used in a semi-automatic form. So
Correct.
Behind me is a typical AR platform weapon, and you can't see it because it's on this side, not the other side, that has a selector switch on it. That selector switch is only for fire or not fire, safe or not safe, and that is for a semi-matic operation of the weapon, which means every time I depress the trigger, a round comes out of the firearm. All right, next slide. And just
squeeze, bang. You got to let it go and squeeze it again. Bang. You got to let it go and squeeze it again. Bang. There is no, you just hold it and it just keeps shooting till you let it go. No. That is not what an AR does. And then another one, like I've always said, people, weapons of war. There is no standing army on this planet that is issued AR-15s or AR-10s as an issue as the conscript firearm. There is not one. The drug runners coming out of South and Central America don't count. That's not an army in a traditional sense. And yeah, I had to deal with those idiots too.
move it over. This is the most popular handgun in the United States that was purchased is a Glock 19.
Model 19, Gen 3.
It functions in exactly the same way as this rifle. It's a semi-automatic, just like that's a semi-automatic. The rifle's not available for purchase, don't have a selector switch for 3-round bursts or fully auto. This is a semi-automatic handgun. As quick as I depress the trigger of this Glock 19, a round comes out of the chamber. The functionality between that weapon and this weapon are exactly
the same.
identical. There is no difference. So you're banning a class of weapons that you don't like the look of, not because of functionality, not because of how fast a round comes out of the weapon, just because you don't like the way that they look, because they function exactly the same. Now move this one over one. So now this is a Glock 19. Glock 19 comes with a 15-round magazine, which under this bill is legal, although it's interesting that a couple weeks ago you banned 10-round magazines and then you changed it to a 15-round magazine. It's interesting to understand the thought process there, but that is for another time. This is a 6-out.
Don't even try to understand the thought process of liberal Democrats. You don't have the you don't have the mental capacity to break it down into small enough bits for your brain to digest. Trust me, we've all tried.
Our P320, which some of you probably saw in one of the hearings on the magazine bans, I showed my P320. This comes with a 20-round magazine. So under this bill,
I actually don't like that pistol. But anyway, that ain't what this is about. Onward.
Because it has a 15-round magazine ban, this gun would be banned because you wouldn't be able to use it. Again, it functions exactly the same as that gun. It functions exactly the same. As fast as you depress the trigger is as fast as a round comes out. So now the next one. So that gun would be...
If it don't misfire, but that's, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying.
And that would be okay because you can put a 15-round magazine in it. This is a lever action. Under this bill, lever actions apparently are okay, but semi-automatic AR platform rifles are not okay. So we're going to discriminate against the type of firearms that we're going to use, despite the fact that the functionality is the same. The only difference here is after you depress the trigger and a round comes out, you have to reload using the lever action, which...
There's a lever action rifle manufacturer here in the United States. I'm having a brain cramp on the name. My sheriff went during his retirement party. Everybody had pitched in and got one custom made for him with his name engraved on the side and everything and whatnot. I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me. Hopefully I'll get a picture. I mean, the name and put it in the description box or something before I upload it so I don't forget. But man, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I ain't going to hold y'all up.
Gives you maybe half of a second. The next one, which is also legal, is a tubular. This is a tubular 22, which again, and Mr. Massey did a good job of highlighting how ridiculous the calibers of the bullets are. The Democratic majority is discriminating against some of the most popular weapons in the United States simply because they don't like the way they look, not because of the way they function. And there are so many Americans that are confused when they see the semi-automatic rifle that the Democrats want to ban as being fully automatic. It's not. You can't purchase that. It's illegal. It is not a weapon of war. A weapon of war has a fully automatic switch or a 3-round burst. I yield back the remainder of my time.
And he is correct. He is 100% correct. Now, and I tell people all the time, I said, man, I don't care. Well, I do care. I can't say I don't care now, because if you're in a state that doesn't allow it or nothing like that, I get it. But I always tell people, you ain't got to have this conversation with people that live out in the woods. They already know. They live in bear country. They live in elk country. They live in moose country. I always tell people, man, get a Ruger 22. A little 22, yeah. What I'm going to do with that? Learn how to shoot. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. It's very popular. It's very reliable. And the aftermarket, it loves that rifle. Get a Ruger 22. And box ammo, 500 box ammo. I mean, it's cheap. They're pennies a shot. Go to the range. There's no recoil. There's not nothing. You understand. You get the basics of shooting. Now, when you get good with it, that can be your squirrel gun. That can be your varmint gun, because it's very accurate. As long as you, look, if you get some cheap ammo just to practice and train with, that's fine. That's great. But when you go on the hunt for food, when you hunting varmint for food, you might want to step up to the good stuff. But it's a 22. It's a little old, heck, I got some around here somewhere. It's just a little old something. But will it protect me against them? It's better than nothing, but it's, the rifle might be better as a club to stop the person that actually, you hit them with what you got to distract them, because it's gonna hurt. Ow, 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 ow. While they going ow, ow, then you take them and you subdue them. And then call the CIDET, let them take care of it from there. But anyway, y'all, just had to throw this. These people are insane. And people always say, what do you think about Trudeau? I don't live in Canada. But I just showed this piece because I had the, because there's some other channels that I frequent. I'm like, dude, I don't live in Canada. Well, you used to live in Michigan. It's right next to Canada. Yeah, but it's not Canada. So what are you talking about? There's like, well, you was in, no, I've never been to Iran in my life. Well, you was in Iraq. Yeah, but Iraq and Iran is that's what? Stop it, dude. Stop. But anyway, Canada, you asked for him, you got him. Just like United States. I didn't vote for Side Road Joe. I know a lot of people that didn't vote for Side Road Joe. Actually, Side Road Joe ended up with more people voting in America than we have registered voters. I wonder how the hell that happened.
Man, this is some bullshit.
We know how it happened. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.